What's good, YouTube? It's Justice Ace to be paid, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be asking Lil Baby to lock in. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. And also, go follow me on Instagram at @IUsedToBePay. Same username on literally every platform. Not because I post a whole bunch over there, just because, like, I want to get over 1,000 followers. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. I've never done that. So, like, yeah, go follow the Instagram just to make me feel better. I'm just going to be real with you. But in this video, I'm asking Lil Baby to lock in. All right. Lil Baby. Okay, this is directly to you. I know there's other people watching the video, but this is directly to you. Please lock in. Okay, we've all heard the conversations by now. I'm sure you yourself, Lil Baby, who's not watching this video, definitely not seeing this video, but you yourself have heard these conversations, okay? Lil Baby's music has fallen off. His music isn't the same anymore. His music literally is the same because he keeps making the same song over and over again. Like, we've all heard these talks about Lil Baby and his music, okay? And I'm not gonna lie, some of it does have merit. A lot of it has some merit to it. So, I need Lil Baby on, his next project or his next drop, his next releases. I need him to lock in. I need him to lock in, like, badly, okay? Because it's getting to a certain point where, like, it's damn near undeniable with these conversations. And also, people are starting to go back and have revisionist history about Lil Baby and be like, Lil Baby was never even that good anyway. Like, oh, y'all overrated Lil Baby. Y'all gassed him. Y'all was calling him the next Wayne. I never called him the next Wayne, but, like, he was getting gassed. It's real. But, it's gotten so bad to where I recently just saw Lil Baby on a Lil Mabu song.
Wait, did you hit him with a scream?
Lil Baby has a song with Lil Mabu. He gave Lil Mabu a feature. I had to listen to Lil Mabu. And that's where I draw the line, bro. That's where I draw the line, bro. You making me listen to Lil Mabu? To listen to your, that's where I draw the line, bro. This is, I've been thinking about making this video for a while, but I'm like, it's not that deep. When I saw that, I knew it was critical. It was serious. All right. Now, he did just do a feature with, like, Metro and Future, and that was good, but, like, a Lil Mabu song is where I absolutely draw the line. And even in the song itself, he was, like, taking shots at Gunna. He said, "In the streets selling peas, I get real money. How you switch up on the bros, I can't F with those. Dudes acting like they won't fold, knowing that they told." Now, I can't confirm that he was referring to Gunna in this feature, but, like, they've been taking shots back and forth at each other since Gunna has gotten out of jail with the whole plea deal situation. And so it's not really that big of a stretch to say that he's talking about Gunna, especially because he's had, well, that was weird. He's had other bars that were seemingly aimed at Gunna. And so they've been going back and forth. They don't like each other, whatever. But I'm going to be real here. As much as, we think of Gunna and we think of Lil Baby, you think of Lil Baby, you think of Gunna. Since Gunna's came home, bro, he's been cooking you. I'm sorry. Like, I love Lil Baby. Okay, I do. I'm not making this video from the place of a hater, because if I was a hater, I'd be laughing at Lil Baby. He's trash. His music's falling off. He sucks. No. Okay, this is me trying to put a fire under Lil Baby. Gunna's been cooking him. Okay, now, Gunna's album didn't sell first week as much as Lil Baby's last album. Lil Baby's last album still did, like, double of what Gunna's did. But in terms of literally everything else when it comes to that album and the recent music Gunna's been putting out, he's been cooking Lil Baby, okay? In terms of public perception, in terms of quality, in terms of even hits, in terms of staying power with your music, in terms of cultural relevancy, I'm talking about music, not like Lil Baby as a personality, but in terms of, like, music cultural relevancy, in terms of what people kind of actually want to hear right now, it's all Gunna. Gunna's been cooking him. And Gunna's about to drop a new album soon. I think it's called One of One. He's about to drop another album. So, baby, I need you to lock in, bro. Now, it's pretty clear to me that Lil Baby's music needs a bit of a resurgence. I don't think that's a hot take to say. Even, like, the biggest Lil Baby fans are like, yeah, he needs a little bit more, like, juice in his music. So I'm not saying anything too crazy when I say that. But what I will say is that, like, his music isn't that bad, right? I think some people are overreacting a little bit to how bad Lil Baby's music is, right? If you listen to his last album, It's Only Me, it's really not that bad. But the album is a little bit boring and, it drags on a little bit and it's a little repetitive. Like, there's some valid critiques that people are having, but I think it's just being overreacted to, because on the internet, when a narrative starts, it's really hard to get a narrative to stop, especially when it's about somebody who's really popular and it's like a flip of the narrative. Like, if somebody goes from really, really loved to really, really hated, that snowball is hard to stop. And that's happening to Lil Baby right now. So I think it is, a little bit of an overreaction, but there are valid criticisms in terms of like the music sounding very similar and a little bit tired and a little bit like running on like over and over to a point where it's just like redundant. Like that's very valid. But I think Lil Baby, actually, if you listen to the music, the quality is at a point where it hasn't like fully turned a corner yet. Like, Lil Baby's music hasn't gotten to the point where it's just like, in general, just like garbage, right? Because for a lot of artists, by the time people stop listening to their music or start telling them that their music isn't good, it's already too late, right? For a lot of artists, they don't get that warning of, hey man, like, that project wasn't all that. When they get their little moment in the sun and then it goes away, a lot of the times it's like that. And so it's good that for Lil Baby, he's kind of turning this corner in terms of like public perception on him being really, really negative in terms of his music, but he hasn't fully hit it. It hasn't just completely gone to, all right, Lil Baby sucks. It's gone to, what's up with Lil Baby, bro? Gunna's kind of killing him. The music, he's at a point where he can see the car accident right before it happens. Okay. He's about to hit the other cars, but he hasn't hit them yet. And I think that's probably the most positive thing to take away from the situation, that Lil Baby hasn't gotten to the really, really, the points of like no return. He hasn't gotten that far yet. So Lil Baby has been given the grace of people telling him like, hey bro, like, I don't really know about this stuff. Like, it ain't sounding too great. Even his own fans being like, I don't know, man. It's just isn't hitting like the other stuff. He's been given that grace. And I think that there are multiple factors that come into play when it comes to like people, not being as high on Lil Baby's music as they used to be. And it maybe just not sounding as good in general. But I think the major thing that's coming into play, the most important thing, at least in my opinion, as an outsider looking in, because again, I don't know Lil Baby. I've never met Lil Baby. I don't know what's going on in his mind. I don't know anything about the man besides the music that is put out there and maybe like some of the stuff in his documentary. That's all I know about Lil Baby. But I just feel like it's missing that hunger. I feel like his music isn't as passionate as it once was. And I was saying this all the way back before he dropped It's Only Me, his latest album. I was saying, like, listening to the snippets that were coming out before the album came out, and I was like, man, I just don't know about this. It's not sounding like he's really rapping for real. He sounds really complacent. That was the word I used, complacency. It sounded complacent. And people were telling me, and this was on TikTok, this wasn't on YouTube. People were telling me, nah, bro, you tripping. Like, Lil Baby's fine, bro. You just yapping. You don't know what you talking about. You don't know Baby like that. This gonna be the album of the year. And then after the album dropped, a lot of people had the same opinion that I had. Now, that's not because they listened to me and changed their opinion. I'm not saying that, but like, there was a lot of people out there who came to the same conclusion that I came to after listening to his music. So I feel like it's not that ridiculous to say. But I just feel like the passion is kind of missing, because if you listen to Lil Baby's music from My Turn and before, you can hear that passion. Like, it's there. If you actually listen to My Turn and before, like listen to it really, really closely, you can damn near hear Lil Baby's stomach growling and the smoke detector beeping, because it doesn't have any batteries in it. Like, that's how hungry this dude was. You could hear it. And it kind of feels like after My Turn and all the success that he had with that, he looked around and he was like, oh, I'm the man. And he was. He's like, I'm the man. Like, I've made it. I've made all this money. Like, I can relax a little bit. I don't got to go as hard. I can chill. And that's cool. Like, I get that. But I feel like that complacency kind of seeped into his music. I think he realized that, holy shit, I'm Lil Baby after My Turn. And that's what maybe kind of pulled it back a little. And don't get me wrong, in terms of real life, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying you got to keep working after you just completely changed your life around. You changed your family's life. You have made it so where your kids probably don't have to work. Like, that's great. I'm not saying it's not. Like, that's a beautiful thing. But in terms of rap, in terms of like the music, it's made it a little bit rough. I'm just saying, like, again, in real life, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that in general. I'm just saying, I feel like it has kind of affected the music to a certain extent. But for the things that are actually tangible in the music that you can tell, that you can actually have real conversations about, obviously me saying he's not like that motivated, I can't really prove that, but like the tangible stuff, the production hasn't really changed that much. The flow hasn't really changed. and the subject matter hasn't really changed over the entirety of Lil Baby's like mainstream career. And I think that's really what the problem is. I don't think the quality of his music is really that big of a problem. I would say the quality has dipped, but if you take away My Turn, which in my opinion is easily his best project, if you take away My Turn and because like, I don't think it would be fair. If you take away My Turn and you compare It's Only Me to the rest of his discography, it's not that much worse. It's not. But, it's worse, but it's not like a crazy, crazy drop off of quality. Sometimes you're just not going to release the best album ever. It happens. But like, obviously, if you go from My Turn to It's Only Me, it's a huge difference. But if you compare it to the rest of his discography, it's really not that bad. But the main issue is it feels like he's kind of in the same mode. Like the music is like, there's not been a whole bunch of evolution. And that's really what the problem is. I'm not saying he has to reinvent the wheel, but like, when you listen to Lil Baby's music in 2018 and you play some of his stuff from today, it's like, it's not that different. And that's an issue. That's an issue. If somebody's not like a huge diehard Lil Baby fan, let's just say they're like a fair weather Lil Baby fan, they know some of his music or whatever. And you take an album from 2018 and you mix it with, his most recent album and some of his most recent stuff, and you just shuffled it, right? You just shuffled it and you pressed play. And you told them, okay, some of these songs are from 2018. Some of these songs are from 2024, 2023. You tell me which is which. They would not be able to tell the difference. They wouldn't. They would not be able to tell the difference. If they keep up with Lil Baby somewhat, and I'm not saying, they don't know him, but if they listen to some of his music, they know some of his stuff. If you just mixed it up, right, I promise you they wouldn't be able to tell you the difference. And that's not the same for a lot of the artists that are like respected as high quality artists, right? High quality artists. Somebody like Kanye, if you take his work from 2007 and compare it to his stuff in 2013, you can tell which is which. You can tell, okay, this is completely different. If you've heard that, like, let's just say this, right? Let's say this. Let's take it even further. If you take a Lil Baby fan from 2018, right before he released one of his projects, let's say they haven't heard this 2018 project yet, but you freeze them in time, and then you tell them, all right, some of this stuff is from the future, 6 years from now. Guess which is from the future and which is from today. They wouldn't be able to do it. But if you take, even a Drake fan, even though people don't like a lot of Drake's recent music, you can tell that he's trying to cater towards a new audience. They're trying to make it to where it fits into this time. If you take Kendrick Lamar's audience and, you give him Damn and you mix in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, not his audience, but like fair weather fans of Kendrick, and you give him Damn and you give him Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and you say, all right, some of this stuff clearly doesn't sound like the other stuff. You would be able to tell that, okay, that's very different from what I just heard. That doesn't really sound like Damn. Yeezus doesn't sound like Graduation. Even Drake, For All the Dogs, doesn't sound like anything he did on, if you're reading This Is Too Late. Views doesn't sound like Honestly Nevermind. Like there's obviously some change here, but with Lil Baby, that doesn't really exist. There just needs to be a little bit more evolution in what Lil Baby's putting out. Now, I feel like using Kanye might have been a bad example. I'm not saying he has to change his music that drastically. I'm just saying tweak it a little bit. Give us a little something more. I'm not saying he has to reinvent his entire music sound. I'm not saying he has to start making music that sounds like Playboi Carti. I'm just saying you got to give us a little something new, right? You got to change the flow a little bit. You don't have to go crazy, but step a little bit outside of what you've been doing. Again, you don't have to make Yeezus. I'm not saying that, but change it a little bit. Just give us a little something to show us that, hey, I'm improving, or I'm trying this, or I'm developing in this lane, like something. The subject matter, like, look, listen, you can change it a little bit. I'm not saying you have to start rapping about, conscious stuff and turn into a conscious rapper and try to get on Kendrick Lamar's next album. I'm not saying that. Okay, you can keep rapping about money, women, in the streets. You can keep doing that, but give us something a little bit further, right? Something a little bit deeper, something a little bit past the surface. Just something a little extra, okay? Instead of just rapping about money, okay, rap about, what it's like to have this money now and how hard it is to stay hungry. And I'm not, or maybe even on a song, talk about women and be like, how hard it is to interact with women, especially famous women. And again, I'm not just talking about throwaway bars where you like, can't mess with famous girls, they take it straight to Insta. Like, I mean, something a little deeper. Just a little deeper. I'm not asking for anything crazy. Lil Baby can still be a trap artist and stay in his relative bubble. But I mean, just peel some layers back a little bit. And a great example of this that just came into my mind, I don't even have this on the script, is Future. Future does that great. Future is one of the best at that. Future, all his songs are about money, women, drugs, the streets, right? Pretty much, for the most part. But he gives us a little bit something deeper than just like your generic streets, money, women, drugs, right? He gives us something a little deeper. And that's what Lil Baby needs to do. I'm not saying reinvent everything, change, do this, do that. I'm just saying show us that some stuff has happened in your life since 2018. You're not still stuck in that same mode. Okay, a little bit of development has happened. Something's changed. Something. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for reinvention. I'm asking just for a little bit more depth. Because Future is great at that. Future does that extremely well. Even to somebody like 21 Savage. 21 Savage does that relatively well as well. That was a really weird sentence. But like just a little bit more. Now at the end of this video, this is the part where I overstep. Okay, I admit it. I overstep at this part of the video. But hey, this is my video. I'm going to do what I want. I know he's not going to listen to me. I'm just some YouTuber. And this is probably where problems start to arise with rappers. Like when you try to tell them what they should do, or artists in general, when you try to tell them what they should do as an outsider looking in, and you're not an artist, right? That's when major issues come up. But like, it's just my video. This is my opinion anyway, so I don't care. I think the production for Lil Baby has stalled him a little bit as well. I think he stays in his own bubble. And that's not just saying like, oh, it's this producer, it's that producer. I think it's on Lil Baby as well. I think he likes to stay into a relatively safe bubble. So I think he needs to kind of get out of that bubble, so to speak. And so on his next album, this is me just fantasy booking. Nothing that I'm saying beyond this point is probably very realistic, but this is something that I would love to see, okay? It's probably not gonna happen, but it's something I'd love to see. I want somebody to executive produce Lil Baby's album. I want 4 people in particular. If one of these 4, I would recommend. Obviously, again, it's not realistic, but like in my fantasy world where I get to control everything that happens in music, this is what I would want to happen. So my first option for Lil Baby to, have executive produce his album is Metro Boomin, right? Just makes a lot of sense. He's in that trap lane, but Metro Boomin, he makes beats that Lil Baby can do well on, and he can also curate an album very well. We've seen that over his last couple projects. He literally has not missed on an album. So Metro Boomin has a good track record, and also he can make stuff that Lil Baby's comfortable with. It still can be changed a little bit, but he's comfortable with it. The only problem with Metro Boomin is it's crazy hot outside right now. All right, it's extremely hot outside. I don't know if you want to tie yourself to anybody at this point in time. Okay, just stay back, play the field. And plus, Metro Boomin also has projects lined up with Jid and Dirk, and he has a lot of stuff on his plate, so it's not realistic. But like, Metro would be my first option. I think Metro could work with Lil Baby, and they could really create something that works, something that's a little bit fresh, but it doesn't have to be like this entire reinvention. The second executive producer I'd love to see on a Lil Baby album, and this one is just as far-fetched as it could possibly get probably, is Ye. Now, obviously, Ye is doing his own thing. He's got Vultures 2 and 3 still somewhere in his laptop or so. I don't know, right? He's got his own projects lined up. He's super busy. It's not likely, but obviously, Ye, music-wise, in terms of being an executive producer, is great at it. He executive produced Whole Lotta Red, and Kanye is a legendary curator of music. That's honestly what Kanye is best at right now. I would even say, like, obviously producing, but like right now, rapping or curating music, I think Kanye might be better at curating music at the moment. It's just my opinion. And I love Kanye, number one. He's my number one rapper of all time. So don't get it twisted like I'm a hater, but like, I think he could really get the best out of Lil Baby. Because, he's worked with Lil Baby in the past, and Lil Baby's supposed to be on one of these versions of Vultures. But when I think of what Kanye can really unlock from a trap artist or, a street rapper, think of somebody like Lil Durk. Lil Durk's verse on Jonah, in my opinion, is the best verse of his career. I know that's a really random take to throw in here, but his verse on Jonah on Donda, go back and listen to it. I think that's the best Lil Durk verse ever. Kanye had us believing that Fabio Foreign was actually like really, really good. This is really weird to slander Fabio Foreign. He's not bad, but like Kanye had us thinking like, nah, this dude is like that. Fabio Foreign, like he's cool, but Kanye had us thinking like, oh my God. So, you know what I'm saying? Kanye can really put it together. The only thing with Kanye is, again, he's super busy, and he's probably going to try and sneak some Nazi stuff into your album. Don't let him do that. But we're not going to talk about that right now. But that's my second option. My third option is Future. Again, I don't know how realistic it is. Probably not very. And also, it's extremely hot outside for Future as well. You don't want to pick sides. But Future could do something really cool with his album. Future is always pretty good when it comes to like his production side of his own album. That's always very good with Future. And also he executive produced Donda 2, which sounds like a horrible thing. Like that's a horrible thing to put on somebody's resume. But like Donda 2, in terms of how it was put together, wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad how it was put together. Now, the final product, because I don't even think it was ever finished, was a mess. All right, the album as a whole was a mess, but I think that's more so to do with Ye than anything to do with Future. I think Future was doing a relatively good job of executive producing that album. I think he did it, I think he did well. But again, probably not very realistic. It's also extremely hot outside for Future. And again, yeah, it just probably won't happen. And then my last one, which this is my biggest reach. Like this is me, literally reaching all the way to like France. This is me reaching in like Patrick Beverley in the playoffs. Okay, I'm just talking at this point. Pharrell, legendary music curator. Again, probably wouldn't happen, but I'd love to see Lil Baby get his album executive produced by one of those four people. But I'm not expecting that to happen. This is just me like, having a little bit of fun at the end of the video. But yeah, Lil Baby, I need you to lock in, bro. I need you to shut up all the haters. And I need you to never make a song with Lil Mabu again, okay? This is really what made me get up and make this video. I seen the song with Lil Mabu and I had enough, bro. So yeah, Lil Baby, lock in. We need you to. I need you to show these people that you weren't, just a fluke. I want you to show these people that you're really like that and that you can compete with Gunna. Because people are saying that you can't now, and they're going to go back and have revisionist history like, oh, Lil Baby was never even that good, bro. Don't let him do it. But that's the end of my video. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Please leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment, do all those things. And go follow me on Instagram to help my self-esteem. This is the end of my video, though. Y'all have a good day. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace.